We have waited all winter for this.
It's the biggest race we have all year long.
The icons of this sport have all starred on its biggest stage.
It's the great American race. Trust me.
I won the Daytona 500. I won the Daytona 500.
Pull them belts tight one last time, boys. Light the fire.
Big push coming now for Harvick. Oh, and around goes a couple cars. Priest upside down. He's barrel rolling through the grass.
You got plenty of money. Don't need that to keep racing. Is it worth the risk to keep on going?
Sure, to win.
Oh, yeah. Welcome to the Bump and Run podcast. I'm your host, Michael D. White, joined by three of my best buddies, Matt the Stat Man Reilly, Eric Daytona Ron, and Robbie Shrey officially joining the show. Because you want to know what? Every car, you can't run on three tires. We had a flat in the back. We had to prop it up. We're a four-man team now. Welcome to the show, Robbie Shrey. And I hope you guys had a great weekend. Hope you guys had yourselves a Kyle Larson type of weekend. Down in Bristol, Tennessee, getting close to the triple. Got himself a double. Couldn't get that win in the truck series. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, do all that jazz. Fellas, how you guys doing? How's your weekends and stuff? You guys, you survived? It was a weird weekend in Northeast Pennsylvania.
Baby, boozy. Yeah? I got after it Saturday, Sunday again, dude. It was wild.
Well, you guys are on a tear. Was Eric, were you on a tear too?
Oh yeah, Friday night. I tore it up on Friday, right from work, left early, right to the fucking bar, hit the Polish club up, signed in, whacked down a couple twisted teas real quick, went to the old Andy's watering hole. As soon as we get to the bar, right? Now what it's gotta be maybe only 4:30, 5 o'clock at this point in time. Leap from his head outside of the bar. Got some little ball.
He's telling an epic story right now, and
I can't hear shit. Yeah,
the HughesNet got him.
The HughesNet, because he's in the basement. He's in the basement now. The internet's a little weaker down there.
What, Eric? Whatever. Wait, hold on, because wait, we might have you back.
No.
No. Oh no, Eric.
Great.
He's glitching like a 1996 video game.
He is in 410p. He's not on 720. He's not on 1080. He's on 180p right now.
We lost him.
John Cena?
I heard something about John Cena. I heard something about John Cena. Can't see me. This is great. I'm so happy. I'm so happy this is the start. I hope we have like a couple new fans tuning in for the first time, and they're like, "What is this amateur shit?"
Oh no, Eric! So Eric moved down to the basement because it gets hot up in the upstairs at his house where he records, and I don't think the internet's connected down there.
He's gone forever. I think he might be gone forever.
Yeah, his kiddies are gonna eat him.
Dana just turned on Netflix and fucked Eric's whole entire night up. That's it. Yeah. That's what happened. It seems that Eric's internet went completely out, so it kind of works. It works out that this week, Shikshini, Ricky, Robbie Shrey joining us full time. We got a flat tire. We got to make a pit stop. Hopefully, Eric can get back on the call at some point tonight. But if not, we got a NASCAR weekend and race to talk about. Let me just run through the NASCAR news real quick, though. Matt, how was your weekend, though? Good, indifferent.
Yeah, it was all right. I was in Nashville last week for work, so it's good to get home. Missed my family a lot. Just missed sleeping in my own bed.
What?
So,
how was Nashville?
Boys, have either of you ever been there?
No.
Negative.
Best city I've ever been to in my life, and I mean that. And it's not particularly close.
Yeah,
it was awesome. It's everything like our group of guys. It's everything that we like. If we ever went down there on a bachelor party, I'm not sure any of us ever come home. Like I think we're just staying there. I'm serious. It's just, I mean, it's everything you've ever heard it, right? So it's bar after bar after bar after bar on Lower Broadway, and like everything's right there, and like every country music star that has ever mattered has a bar down there, and it's just it's amazing. And like there's live, we all are the same. We all love live music, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so it's you're not listening to a radio. It is live music in every single bar, and it's just a really, really good it's expensive. It is expensive, but just such a good time, man. I need to, so like I said, I was down there for work. I need to get back down there, like, for pleasure. Like, even though, like, we had a great time, but, like, also you gotta, like, you have the restrictor plate on, right? Because you're still
it's like coworkers. You don't want to give a bad impression.
You don't want to, right? You don't want to give them too much of a peek behind the curtain.
Especially, it's like, oh, this is the regional guy for this district. It's like, oh, this is, yeah.
You don't know who's around, especially when like it's nighttime and nobody's in their work clothes. You don't know who's who, so you gotta be careful. So it would definitely be a place that I'm 100% got to get back to, whether it's with the boys or with my wife or whatever. I highly, highly suggest it. You guys know I'm not a city guy, but that place was awesome.
I'm dying to go there.
Did you pass a Bump and Run podcast business card to Christopher Buescher?
So not to Christopher Buescher. I did see Buescher at the expo, but no, the Bump and Run cards are spread throughout Nashville. So if there's any new listeners from Nashville, welcome to the pristine Bump and Run podcast.
I hope so. It's a rocky start, but trust us, it's worth the drive on this road.
Yeah, but it's good to be home. Got a million projects going on now that the weather's breaking. Just so many different things going on, keeping busy. It was the Masters last weekend. I love it. I absolutely love the Masters. Top 5 sporting event of the year for me, and Sunday did not disappoint, unlike other sports on Sunday. So WrestleMania this upcoming weekend. Great little like sneaky like great time of the year for sports.
Oh yeah, and especially like for sports fans where it's like, oh, you're starting to miss football and everything, but like, oh, like we just had March Madness, we had the Masters, like a lot of good stuff going on right now.
NBA playoffs are rolling around, but
playoffs are about to start. Go Celtics. The NFL draft is next weekend, so like it's a sneaky like great like 5-week window of like just fun sports stuff.
You had people over for the WNBA draft the other night, having a good time at the house there.
Had a huge party for the WNBA draft. There must have been 100 people at my house for that. We just big time WNBA fans here.
Oh yeah.
No, I have no idea.
Angel Reese fan.
But
yeah, right.
I don't even know what you're talking about. Anyways, some NASCAR news. Speaking of females, Catherine Legge is entering multiple Cup Xfinity races in 2025, but there was no list, so I don't know which one she's going to be driving in. I know she will be driving the Cup race down in Mexico, so we'll see how her road course prowess is.
We've been down this road before.
Yeah,
we have been.
She should be in Xfinity. I'll give it to her. Xfinity. Give her every weekend.
She has a couple starts in Xfinity too in the past. We'll see how. I mean, her discipline is road course racing, so we'll see how she does in Mexico. Hopefully, a little better than she did in Phoenix.
I forgot we're going to Mexico. When are we going to Mexico?
It's after Memorial Day, I think. Right?
That sounds right, but
yeah, I can't remember.
I'll loop back around to that. Give me a second.
Adios míos, Poppy.
Yeah. You want to? I'm kind of looking forward to it just to see something different. So I'm excited. But let's see. 3 quick pieces of news. Apparently, 2311 and Front Row Motorsports are asking for financial information from F1 for their antitrust lawsuit. I guess F1 doesn't have a charter system per se, but it's structured pretty similarly. They're looking for financial information for the years that NASCAR has instituted the charter system. So from 2013 or 2016, I forget, until now. They want to see what the revenue split with the team was and everything, hoping to see like, hey, is this close to what we're getting, or are we actually getting screwed? So we'll see what happens there. If F1 even wants to disclose that information, it is very possible they don't want to give that information up at all. And then another lawsuit, Legacy Motor Club is now suing Rick Ware over their charter sale. It seems like the lawsuit is putting they're not suing.
PFA on him.
I put suing, but that isn't true. It is. It's a protection order or something, right? What?
Yeah.
What was the terminology? I wrote the wrong
I didn't
thing.
read it. I just saw like the headline that they put a PFA against Rick Ware, and I think it means like that there's no contact. Like he's not allowed to reach out.
That's what
like,
it was.
Anyways,
it was a restraining order on Rick Ware Racing, but essentially what it does is, thank you. It puts it prevents Rick Ware from being able to do anything with their charter in 2026. And also, we were speculating, this must be the charter that's on lease to RFK in the 60 car because it's doing so well. They want to get that charter. And apparently, no. Matt Weaver, all the documents are redacted pretty heavily, but Matt Weaver, NASCAR reporter, believes that it's not the charter that's leased out to RFK. It's one of their current charters that they're running. So it kind of makes sense why Rick Ware doesn't want to let it go a year earlier than planned either. I don't know what the terms of their lease deal with RFK is, but just a little bit more light on that one, which it is a very confusing lawsuit. And then Dale Earnhardt Jr. is being named part of the Motorsports Hall of Fame of America. He's being inducted in that. So just quick little news. And then we have a race weekend to talk about. Kyle Larson.
Hey, real quick, Mexico race, June 15th.
June 15th. So that is after Memorial Day. That is an Amazon Prime race, I believe.
That is a Amazon Prime race, yep.
All right. And then I think the next week we're at Pocono.
Are they going to go from Mexico right up to like Pocono next year then?
I think so, right?
Pretty much. Yes. They're going from Michigan to Mexico to Long Pond, Pennsylvania, baby.
That is insanely. That's a lot of travel.
That is a lot of travel.
Like, why would they do it that way?
Yeah, you would think.
Like they would stay in Cali or Texas. Like, why not go to Texas more? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I would have scheduled it around like that.
So it could, I mean, dude, with these things,
there's so many moving pieces.
Whitey could probably talk about it a little bit more than I can, but the logistics behind scheduling, I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy, dude, because you got to deal with whatever conflicts the racetrack has. You got to deal with what the
television partners,
what the broadcast partners want. You got to deal with what NASCAR wants. You got to deal with all of
that. What other programming you're up against? You know, like it's insane. Right now, IndyCar, I feel like is suffering because of it. Because right now, IndyCar is on regular Fox, going up against NASCAR almost every week. They barely broke 500,000 viewers on Fox this week. And the Cup race got 2 million. Of course, you're up against the Masters and stuff too.
Fox relegated poor Bob Pockrass over to the Indy coverage.
I didn't know that until you pointed it out this week. Just absolutely devastating. That
he still covers NASCAR, but he's like,
not at track.
I don't know if he alternates being at NASCAR races and then IndyCar races, but it seems like he's largely been at the Indy races, which sucks. Maybe he likes it. Maybe it doesn't matter. But like, I don't know. Bob Pockrass, NASCAR guy in my mind.
He is a NASCAR guy.
Yeah, I think he likes being there too in NASCAR more than Indy. If I had to say, like he seems all about it.
Plus, like, you have to think, like, oh, he knows those guys way better probably than the IndyCar drivers and everything. But at the same time, Fox just got the property, so now they're trying to make it into a bigger deal than it was on NBC.
Well, maybe not put it head-to-head with NASCAR.
Right? Like, just
still the most popular form of motorsports in America.
Just insane. I think they were like 5th in the ratings or 6th in the ratings in terms of motorsports this week.
Not even just sports, but just motorsports.
Just motorsports. Yikes. They got beat out by NASCAR, and then F1 was second.
Off-field drag, baby.
Tony
Stewart winning again.
Did he really?
IndyCar for me is a one-day season, and that is Memorial Day Sunday.
I agree. But we have a NASCAR truck race. Chandler Smith got the win, stole one from Kyle Larson. Did you guys catch the truck race on Friday night? Ricky was boozing too hard.
Not that night. I was a good boy Friday night, went to bed. I had work Saturday morning. I went to bed at like 10 after 9. But because of that, I was at work and I couldn't wait to base the old liver, dude. And it happened.
It's pickled now. What should we call That's a dumb joke. What should we call it? Kyle Larson absolutely dominated that truck race. I saw the end, but I can't remember. That's the thing about truck racing and the Xfinity race. Like, you toss it on, and then, like, by the end of the weekend, I forget everything. Kyle Larson won the Xfinity race, did it in dominating fashion, and then dominated the Cup Series race. He led 2 times for 411 laps. And I got to tell you, boys, as fans that do a podcast and try to get people to watch NASCAR as much as we can, I am so disappointed that this is the product that they're putting out for new fans. There's this guy at the radio station, young kid EJ, that does traffic. He's recently got into NASCAR this week. I believe he listens to the podcast every week. Shout out to EJ. Thank you for listening. I am embarrassed by the last 2-3 weeks of racing and the product that you're consuming, because trust me, bud, it's not always this boring and bad. 411 laps led, little excessive. The race lasted 2 hours, 38 minutes, and 43 seconds, which is insane. It was 2 hours and 40 minutes, basically, for a Cup Series race. It should be at least 3 hours. Like, I don't even know. We saw 3 cautions for 40 laps, 4 lead changes among 4 different drivers, and there was one pass for the lead.
Caution, right?
One natural caution.
With stage breaks, right?
Yeah, stage break.
At Bristol.
Insane. And your top 5, Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin, Ty Gibbs, finally getting a top 5 this season, Chase Briscoe, and Ryan Blaney. Fellas, I gave it a D. I don't know about you guys, but it was hard not to give it anything low.
Out of respect for the history of Bristol Motor Speedway and the fact that at one time it was my favorite track on the circuit, out of respect, I gave it a C-, but it was every bit of a D race.
I respect your.
I don't have anything to talk about with the race. Like, I have nothing to say. But Kyle Larson dominated, which is great. Listen, we don't have to.
It wasn't even that. Yeah.
Qualifier of it's not. I didn't give it a D because it was a dominating race. I love when domination happens. Doesn't matter if it's a guy I like or don't like. It's nothing to do with that. It's just the fact that there was no passing.
I agree. My race grade is different than your guys's, but I think it's because of the way I consumed it. So me and my friends, Sunday I woke up and I was all set to stay home because I was hungover from the night before. I get a phone call from my buddy. He wants to go do estimates for his job, and shout out Superior Seal Coating and Paving. But go with my buddy Pat, and he goes, "Let's get lunch." Well, then we get lunch at Pappy's on 502. Great watering hole, by the way. And oh my God, just great food. Anyways, we're sitting there, and then it's on. It's like, yo, do you want to go to Boozer's and Avoca? And I'm like, yeah. So we go to Boozer's, and I'm like, hey, what time is it? Oh, it's 2:30. I'm like, hey, can you put on the race? So we consumed the whole entire race there. And he's a Larson fan, and we're sitting there, and I was just having a good time because Bowman is his girlfriend's Megan. That's her driver. Yeah. So there was a little trash talking pre-race, like
having fun, shit talking.
And then Pat was like, "Listen, it doesn't matter. The 5 car you're going to see up in front all day." And I just lost it. Like, I'm laughing, right? I'm like, "Yo, you listened to the pod? You listened to Dovin last week, like, you know?" And he goes, "No." He was like, Larson's going to win this, and it's going to be a bad one. I'm like, okay. And next thing you know, that is going on. But I was having so much fun. We're sitting there, and we're just having fun with it. But I gave it a B- because of that. But in all reality, I do get it. That was a horrible showing. But this is what I have written down. Change Bristol to Larson, because he owns that place, dude. It started last year. And then into this year. But this is what NASCAR wants. They want it parity. Well, this is what we're gonna get as race fans. And if this is what they wanted, then you got to give that race an A, because they nailed it. They nailed what they wanted. But what I ultimately think they need to do is listen to the damn drivers and put more horsepower in that car, and you'll see tire wear. But otherwise, this is what we're going to get. Kyle Larson came in there to Bristol like stone cold on the Friday and saw a mud hole, and by Sunday he walked that son of a bitch dry. I was a pumped. Larson is just my dude. I wasn't mad at all. I had a good time watching it, and we're laughing. I'm watching the Masters at the same time, but I wanted more passing, like Matt said. I wanted more action. I thought for sure you're going to see people like. Nobody can pass and then besides Larson can do other lines where nobody else could. Yeah. You were either running high line or low line, but very snooze fest of a race. Like if you were home, you were passed out. Probably woke up.
I wanted to take a nap so bad, like the whole entire time. Like I'm so tired.
If I didn't have Jaeger bombs in front of me.
That's it. You want to know? You consumed the race the right way.
I was, like I said, like the Masters on Sunday was some of the best sporting, one of the best, like that particular Sunday was one of the best sporting events I've ever seen. Just how crazy it was. So it definitely saved my Sunday. But boys, I talked to Whitey and Eric. I apologize if I'm going to rehash anything from this morning, but I know we said in the beginning of the season that we were going to try to keep the negativity away, but
can't do it.
Some point you got to have an open conversation about the state of the sport, right? The state of the sport that we set aside time for every week. And NASCAR doesn't have an identity anymore. Like, I don't know what NASCAR is or who they are. When I grew up, my dad, my uncles, they were all Chevy guys. And it was always like, it was beat into my brain, just like becoming a Notre Dame fan was beat into my brain. Chevy, yes. Ford, no. And there was a rivalry there. And maybe, Erica and Shrey, I know you guys are Ford guys. It's probably the opposite for you. Ford, yes, Chevy, no. But there was that rivalry, right? Like, you loved one and you hated the other. Like, dude, people get into the sport now. Like, we know some new fans. And for as far as I can tell, like, they don't give a shit what the manufacturer is. It's a driver, which is fine. Like, it's fine. But it used to be what OEM was going to show up to the racetrack and dominate. Yeah. Was it going to be Ford? Was it going to be Dodge? Was it going to be Chevy? Now it's like they're all built the same. They all have the same spec shit. It's taken away what NASCAR is, and there's no identity, and it sucks. It fucking blows.
And NASCAR likes to point the finger every week of saying it's not them, and
they're doing it this week.
They refuse to have an identity issue with this car. There's been a problem. It's this car. They want to blame Goodyear for not coming out with a softer tire. Listen,
that's it.
They've been at work harder. I feel like Goodyear's been at work and under the gun more in the last 4 years, and especially this year, than ever, and trying to make a difference. Meanwhile, NASCAR is like sitting back, feet up, and not doing nothing about the car. And there's a problem there. And listen to the drivers. Ask them. Have a drivers meeting. This week would have been perfect. And after that race, hey, what can we do to fix the car, or what can we? It's horsepower. You want to see tire wear off at Bristol. Well, the sun went down. Saturday's race, the sun was out. There was a lot of tire wear off. Yeah, but it was still dominated by one Kyle Larson. So don't tell me. And then fans, the last gen car was better. It was, but Kyle Larson still ran away at Bristol with it. So it's just they need to listen to the drivers with this car and add more horsepower. It's going to more horsepower, more tire wear off. I don't know why they're not. And they might even lower it. Like Denny was saying, they wanted it to be 500 horsepower. Can you imagine? They're out there with 500 horsepower.
I saw that too. What they originally wanted when Denny first became an owner was they were talking about 500 horsepower.
550.
They're running 670 now.
Dude,
like 750 is not that high of a jump.
Dude, I'm glad you brought up parity, and you're not on Twitter, but you hit all my Twitter takes today because Elton Sawyer said they're looking on long and short of it is that they understand they're working on it. We will continue to look at our short track package. We're not going to sleep on this. We're going to go to work. We'll continue to work with the industry to see adjustments that need to be changed. Sawyer mentioned Goodyear in particular. Bro, like you said, Goodyear's been doing the best that they can, bringing softer tires, trying whatever. And we saw a glimmer of hope on Saturday. We saw tires shredding during practice because it was colder.
And then the temperature dropped.
No, it was colder during practice, and it tore up the tires because the rubber couldn't sit into the concrete of the track. It's lip service because they've been saying the same shit for 4 years. The car is broken, and I'm glad you brought up parity too, because guess what? Parity, they're running within tenths of a second of each other, but now the parity is gone. You're not going to see a 16-winner season like the last couple, because right now we're 9 races in. We have 5 different winners, and that is it. And
you're going to get more of the same all year long. Buckle up, guys. Dovin mentions it all the time. Like, hey, as a race fan, you got to consume these races in a different way. Yeah. Well, now as race fans, all of us need to consume in a different way, because now we're year 4 of this car, right? And I believe, right? It's year 4 of this car. Yep. Yeah. So year 4, and now it's like at its peak of shit races, like where this is going to happen, where you're going to get one car out front. And, it wasn't for a couple of weeks ago that was going to happen without those cautions. Like, who got robbed? Ryan Blaney.
No, last week at Darlington, William Byron.
A couple of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it wasn't for those phantom cautions, we would be sitting here today and we would be like, oh my God. But it is very frustrating. And I just feel NASCAR is content with what they show every week, because supposedly it looks good on how
TV.
Do you consume? I don't know how to consume this better.
Here's the thing: the parity in the sport right now is absolutely trash for the racing, and they don't care about that because parity is great for the business.
Yeah.
The whole idea of the first time this car came out, they knew exactly what was going to happen, and it happened. We had 16 different winners. You'll never see that again. But what that did was it allowed the charter system that was there to be the money maker for the business. Yep. So, look at it, when you're in 32nd and you're running just as fast as the leader, guess what? That entices these people to get into the sport because, hey, if I could get into the sport with this charter and these cars are all the same, if I could just luck out and it's a win and you're in the playoffs. Yeah. And guess why we'll never get rid of that either? Because it helps the charter system. Because when you make the playoffs as a charter team, guess where you jump and leapfrog in the charter rankings? Way up. So they don't care to run in 32nd. They don't care because all they need to do is win one race and sell the charter and make money. It's our sport that we love, that we fell in love with, has just became a business to buy and sell charters. And you know what? I know the whole lawsuit thing with NASCAR, but I think they're making money off these vendors. I think it's more than just what's out there. I think NASCAR, this is all just a ruse. And like we see it all the time. Our eyes are not covered in the wool.
No.
There's fans out there that are ripping that wool down now. They've had it up, but the wool's been off our eyes for years now.
Yeah, it's true.
And I think some of the fans are catching on because some of the drivers are now being a little bit more vocal about it. Denny, of course, is the best thing for our sport in his podcast. As an owner, I like to listen to him talk as an owner because all of the stuff that NASCAR says,
he calls out.
Refutes it. He refutes it. He's like, no,
the car's not cheaper.
We could put 900 horsepower in the cars right now. So it's sad. And like Matt said, you don't want to let it get to you. Like we were talking earlier today. I'm a Jaguar fan. He's a Jets fan. We know to start the season, we have high hopes. Don't get too upset. I'm going to let it go. It's just football. It's just a sport. By week 5, this hair of mine is getting pulled out. And I'm like, I can't take it anymore.
Why do they suck again?
It's passion. We have passion for it. And, I can only imagine being a driver and having to deal with it and like having your skill set that you have that you could use at Bristol, that you could use at Talladega, it's gone.
It's being neutered, completely neutered because of the car. At least in the Xfinity car, you could go and manipulate the air around you. We were shocked a couple weeks ago when we saw side drafting for the first time in forever. That is a problem. That is a problem.
And I noticed at Martinsville, and I used to love watching it because it was something like, it was like, oh my God, the cars don't slam down anymore.
No.
You remember when they're going into the corner?
Yep.
The front end was absolutely
just
slammed
dive
back
in.
down to the ground when you see them get off the gas. Like
Denny,
the whole car, like Denny was saying, is aero underneath. So they have the car cranked down in the back, and then that causes the air to be absolutely shitty.
It's
and when you have shitty air behind you,
they need to rip them diffusers right off the car.
There was a guy I worked with a couple years ago named Cody. He quit in great fashion. I found his badge outside, like just tossed in the bushes, like weeks later. I don't know if he checks us out anymore, but I know he used to every now and then. But he was a big F1 fan. And he said F1 went through this same exact thing, and it's what ruined F1 racing. And the reason why F1 is the way it is because the cars just create mechanical grip with under aero and all that. And he's totally right. He's totally right. And to Matt's point about the OEMs, it's like, well, the car's fucking neutered. You can't do anything different than anyone else besides maybe a little bit of engine changes here and there. How many single source vendors are either owned or partially owned by NASCAR that we don't know about because none of that information is given or available? Guess what? It's more than you would think, to be honest with you. You know, so to Eric's point, they're making money. They don't give a fuck because they're selling the parts straight to them. They don't have to worry about, you know, guys building chassis and shit. So I think Shrey was trying to say something, but I think he stumbled. Did my internet go out? Or no?
No, you're good. You're good. We lost Shrey. Whitey. Which one of us is next? Is it you or me?
We're the Harding boys, though. I think that storm coming through. I think it's nipping at our internet a bit up here.
Yeah, we had a pretty nasty. Yeah, Ricky's out. We had a pretty nasty thunderstorm come through earlier, and it's supposed to.
I'll tell you what, though. First thunderstorm of the year, or maybe second.
It was hailing, dude. They left the coat on my lawn, dude. It looked like it snowed a little bit up here.
Yeah, it was pretty wild.
Thunderstorm season. I'd rather talk about thunderstorm season than what we just fucking saw on Sunday.
I agree. Shrey.
I might be.
We're back from the dead. He's like the Undertaker.
Lights are going out.
Your lights are flicking off and on? Yeah. We're catching bits and pieces.
Is another storm rolling through? Yeah. We've had storms coming through all afternoon.
All right.
Little blip up there.
Yeah, but, he's probably dealing with the same thing that I was before, you know?
So, Eric, I'm assuming you gave this race like a B+ then? That was your grade?
I couldn't completely shit on it, you know what I mean? Because I love
can
Bristol.
Hear you.
Nah, you're chopping up.
Hear me.
We can't hear you. Shrey, I'll let you know. I'll let you know when you become clear again. So just hang tight, bud. But, Eric, what were you saying about what you thought about it?
It sounds like he was saying what I said about it. Go ahead, Eric.
The race, I couldn't completely hate it. Like, I love Bristol. This was a race that I enjoy. So I was glued in. Yeah, it got dominated by Larson. I knew it was going to get dominated by Larson. But to me, there was still, some, I guess, like I liked Hocevar Inspire with Haley running up there. Like Shrey said earlier, I kind of redirected once I knew what the race was going to be to watch, okay, what can I take out of this? Give me something I could take out of this. So I looked at the 7 and the 77.
Shrey, you're still chopping up. Oh, you got, yeah. So Eric, sorry, what were you saying?
I just switched the way I watched it. I watched some people in the back end that, you know, were running up front. Can they stay up front? Now. And, you know, I'm like, okay, let's see if they can stay up front. The 77, the 7 were running up front. So then I kind of switched to like, okay, what are some other guys that are maybe going to surprise me today? Ty Gibbs came out of nowhere and he was running good up front. I'm like, okay, is this Ty's? Hey, welcome back. Yeah, I'm going to, you know, get my first top 5 of the year. And, you know, I ended up giving this a C- race.
Okay.
I couldn't put it into the B's because one, like, I'm not like a huge Kyle Larson fan. You know, I like him. I enjoy him. I'm going to appreciate his dominance when it's here and happening.
Yeah.
But, you know, I never want to see a stinker. I hated when Martin Truex Jr. did it all the time, and I was a fan of his.
Yeah.
But it just, you know, like, there was no real – this is going to sound shitty, but, like, this was one race where, yeah, you needed long green flag runs, but that was if there was tire fall off. It wasn't. I was hoping for NASCAR to start throwing cautions out there.
I was surprised they didn't.
Give me some restarts. Give me some mayhem. Let these guys beat and bang because, hey, once again, Matt, like you said, I'm off. You want entertainment? Entertain me now.
Entertain me,
This
yeah.
is not entertainment. Entertain me.
That's the thing is like, fine, if you want to go the entertainment route, then let's see some entertainment. But suddenly it wasn't even entertaining.
Yeah.
There was no way they were throwing a phantom caution because the guy that they're in the middle of a lawsuit with was running second. They didn't want to see him win for a third time.
No, that's true. And then whatchamacallit? Yeah, like last week wasn't so bad because like I felt like the whole time we were like, oh, does anyone have anything for William Byron? Nobody had anything for Kyle Larson this week. And I don't like a domination, but I don't mind it every now and then. I feel like Hendrick got it this week because they didn't get it last week. And it was a well-deserved and well-earned win. I just wish that someone had something for him. But to your point, Eric, there were a little bit of battle stories and everything. The Ty Gibbs one especially, he got shuffled to the back. There was 7 out of 10 guys. Well, no, there were 7 guys that got stage points in all 3 in both stages. And then what was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 finished in the top 10. So like through either bad luck or whatever, people got shuffled to the back, but I just wish we saw more passing. And apparently there was a lot of passing and a lot of good battles throughout the field. Just Fox didn't show them this week. And that is another major problem.
You could have just stopped that Fox didn't show them because it doesn't matter if it's this week, last week, next year. They never show the mid-pack battles.
Well, but I got nothing really else to say. Anyone besides Ty Gibbs? Yeah, you're back now, I think.
Nice.
It's choppy though. It still jumps back and forth. So you'll be back for like a second or two and then it freezes up on you again. So but we're making do. Do you guys want to get to the end of the week or do you want to talk about Kyle Larson and just going down to Xfinity to dominate? Because Eric, you were talking about that a little earlier. You want to give your thoughts on that?
Yeah, like I sent you guys a Snapchat this morning when I heard them talking about it on Sirius Radio in my truck, and it got me thinking, like, damn, like that was so fun. Knowing now, like how Denny and those guys, like Larson, come on, like lap the field, like they were egging him on, like come on, go do it, like whoop those boys, teach them, like especially after the last couple of weeks.
Yeah,
Xfinity, those drivers being jackasses, like we know. But it also got me thinking because I'm an Allgaier fan, Junior Motorsports fan, and like there's been a lot of times when the Cup guys go down there and like the guy that would have dominated the race had not a Cup guy been down there. That to me sucks because of the format of winning in.
Yeah.
So I would love to see the Cup drivers go back down and race all you want, but you have to take the win in, you're in out because you're taking too many opportunities away from those drivers to lock themselves in and get wins. So like Matt said, maybe give them the winning points.
Yeah.
Even though if a Cup driver finishes in front of them and they come in second, like point out the regular.
Give them the bonus.
Yes, because to me that winning you're in. Like there's a lot of these Xfinity guys. Oh, you want to make a name? Well, how are they going to make a name if that's always going down and their opportunity in the playoffs kind of gets a little. Let's say this is someone's best racetrack. They have 2 opportunities a year. And those 2 opportunities get dominated by a Cup guy.
Yeah.
That's got to suck. You know what I mean? Like, I looked at it like SVG. You know, SVG is absolutely terrible everywhere else but road courses. Now, what if those road courses...
Get that guy a road course, goddamn.
Goddamn, get him a road course.
But, like, what if there was a guy that, like, okay, those are SVG's 5 shots to get into the NASCAR playoffs. Now, let's say there was a guy that they threw in for all 5 of those races that you knew was going to dominate and win, and he had no chance.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about like the playoffs and stuff. I understand Larson and the teaching and wanting to show them how it's done. I think that needs to be done. I agree with him there. I just wanted your guys' opinion on that. Like, how would you regulate that? Like, I think they would need to change something in the points and playoffs because the drivers would get screwed, I think.
Yeah,
I think you're absolutely right. I like that. I think if you're a Cup guy and you go down and you race in there, no big deal, and you win it, that you shouldn't go home and like take that away. Like you're not in that all the time. I think you nailed it. I agree with what you said. It shouldn't go against like the Allgaiers of the world or shit ass Austin Hill, but like I'm with you. I think they need to do something there. Absolutely.
I agree with you guys too, because the reason for the limit is because we had a problem before, where Cup guys were going down and trying to win championships on Saturday and Sunday. It wasn't
even Cup guys. It was one guy.
No,
it was one guy.
No, even
everyone made a stink about.
Well, no, even
Carl Edwards ran full
even
time.
before that. Yeah, like Carl Edwards ran full time.
Yeah, but it was because of Kyle Busch dominating week in and week out that everyone started making a stink about it.
Yeah, but didn't Kevin Harvick used to run like 20 races a year?
Yep.
Like,
yes. Kyle Busch wasn't the only one running it, but because he was dominating.
That good,
yeah. That's why there started becoming a stink about it.
So I understand why they limit guys, but to your point too, it is good to have those guys in the field because the reason why Kyle Larson likes to go down and beat up on them is to show like, hey, you guys still have a lot to do and a lot to learn and a lot of growing to do when I'm beating you by 10 seconds, which I love. I love that mentality because it is needed. And I think Kyle Busch has been doing the Truck Series and the Xfinity Series for a similar reason. Also because he loves to race, And
also, I think someone made a good point about this, and I don't know who it was. It's got to be that they're having more fun driving that Xfinity car than the Cup car.
Probably, because we're seeing it.
Never be the case, but
we're seeing it a lot more than ever.
I don't know, though. I mean, we all say that, and we all say that, like you want to talk about like that, it was so much better, but that Saturday's race was more of an ass whooping than Sunday's, and Kyle Larson was in that car.
That is true.
What I mean? Like,
no. What I'm saying is, it's more challenging to drive an Xfinity car than a Cup car now.
I disagree. I think you got all the old heads that are currently. I think Harvick left the sport as a fan of Harvick? I think he left because he couldn't understand the car. You got Chase Elliott a couple weeks ago on a podcast saying that him and Kyle Busch talk and they can't understand this car and how to drive it. That everything they're taught and everything they're used to out of inner corner with speed and how because they're used to that old car, they can't figure this one out. And that's why Chase Elliott is on a dumpster fire. I think this car is really hard to figure out for these guys, and they don't have the patience like of the old heads. Besides Denny Hamlin, he's really a freak when you think about it. He's older and he's understanding this car and he's dominant. He's one of the 5 guys, I will argue, he's top 3 actually, I think, in the Cup in this car. But I don't know. I and then Dovin mentioned SVG. I'm a fan of SVG, but here it is. In this car, last year we were pissed off that Harrison Burton gets in there, right? Yeah. With that bogus win. Well, he's sitting worse than Harrison was last year. And guess what? They're gonna go. He's gonna race at a road course. He's gonna get a top 3 finish, top 5, if not first place. And then what? He gets there, he's running dog shit. And they need to do away with that rule when you go down as a Cup guy and you take points away from a Xfinity guy. They also need to do away with this one win and you're in. It's bullshit in the Cup Series.
It is.
Because it's just both scenarios are shit.
No, I agree.
Well, just like I said earlier, too, like to Shrey's point, NASCAR did this to themselves. I don't know if you talked about this before, like I got on, but NASCAR created this problem.
Yeah.
They don't want to admit that they're the ones that created this because the winning you're in that changed the mentality of these drivers now. Now, why do you think you're wrecking your best friend for a win? And these Xfinity guys are smashing and beating and banging like it's a demolition derby, because they know that if they win, they're locked in. Their owners get they created it. NASCAR created this problem, and they're never going to take it away.
Look at Michael McDowell last year.
Top 5 finishes to try to go for a win, and in turn wrecking themselves or screwing themselves when, like I said to you guys earlier today, if you're ripping off top 5 finishes on a regular basis, you're going to be in contention for a championship at the end of the year. But instead, they're going for wins, and they're not looking at the bigger picture of, hey, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. These are still great points.
Well, that's why we had what happened at Martinsville and Xfinity, because of the winning you're in. And if they didn't have that, you wouldn't have that finish in Xfinity. But it doesn't just go there. What if, over the years, these road courses, they had to remanufacture the start-finish line at Coda, I think, because of was it that rate? I think I'm right. Was that the road course?
I think it was Coda
Joey
and
Logano dive-bombed.
Yeah.
They didn't want that no more, so they had to redo the start-finish. And it's like, you get this shit-ass racing on Sundays when people do egregious moves, and it goes down to the lower series because they see them guys getting away with it.
Shit-ass racing, you bet.
I love it. Sorry. Anytime you say shit-ass racing.
Anytime someone says shit-ass racing, Whitey plays that. I was waiting for it.
I'm sorry.
But it's true. I think it trickles down to everything. And like last year, they wanted to really beat up, and it deserved it. I mean, the truck was insane, the way they would go about it every Friday night. And I think they cleaned their act up this year. But now I think, between...
Yeah, Shrey, because those drivers from the trucks are now the Xfinity drivers that are now getting banged up there.
Honestly.
So in 2-3 more years, those guys that are assholes in Xfinity, guess what? They're all going to Cup. Then Cup's going to turn into what Xfinity and trucks was, because they're all coming up through the fucking chain. That's what Denny's trying to stop now by saying, Larson, go down there, kick some fucking ass. Tell these guys that, you know what? This isn't the way it goes down. You get the Cup. Fuck you, this isn't going to work.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I still don't think Denny, Larson, any of these guys in Cup right now that are the veterans of the sport have any fucking nuts to do anything about it anyway. Because guess what? NASCAR neutered that opportunity to fucking happen by penalizing and suspending everyone for wrecking and right hooking. I get it. It's dangerous. But guess what? NASCAR, you don't, now these drivers are just, I'm going to show up on Sunday, get in my car, I'm going to drive in a line, parity, 32nd is only a fucking 10th off of me, the leader. Okay, see ya, going home, back to Charlotte. Where's the race next week? It's dumb. It's just fucking dumb.
That's it. And look at, how can you be a leader when you're doing the same? Austin Dillon last year wrecking Joey Logano for the win. Michael McDowell pulling dumb shit moves all season long because he knew he needed to win to get into the playoffs.
Chase Briscoe to Tyler Reddick.
I'm sorry.
Bristol.
Now, I know we praised them on here. I know we praised them, and I know I spotted it out, but I was thinking about it a little bit. This car is making Ty Dillon look like a fucking top 15 driver. And God knows he ain't one.
No. Right. He's not. We know he's not.
It's been proven for the last 15 years he ain't a fucking Cup driver, and not even close to it. But this car, it allows Rick Ware fucking Racing to put his kid in there and run around as a fucking big billboard every goddamn week. And you know what? There's some times when last year Corey LaJoie was running in the top 5. Look at all these guys that would be a shit fucking head in any other year driving any other car. But this car, the parity, Ty Dillon's running fucking top 10 every week. Get fucked, NASCAR.
Well, I agree with you, though. I agree with you 100%. But it makes you ask this. It makes me come up with this question: what the hell is going on with Chase Elliott then? Because he flat out said it. He can't seem to figure this car out.
Finished 15th lap down.
He's still there.
He's just not getting
frustrated
the wins.
by it. He's still running well. He's still just as fucking good and fast as those other guys on his team. But it's like he's just frustrated with it like we are.
Yeah.
I mean, Bob Pockris literally just tweeted this an hour ago because somebody tweeted at him asking about Chase Elliott. 4th, 10th, 18th, 4th, 8th, 15th. 5 top 10s in the last 7 races.
It's a good run.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's good.
It's not bad. There's half the field would suck a dick to get that.
He almost won the regular season championship last year.
Right.
He did.
It's fine.
Because he is the definition of staying consistent. Fuck doing what Larson's doing. Fuck doing what Denny's doing, and air fucking blocking and making you lift or not lift and crash. He's just coming home 4th.
That's
He's
it.
just coming
Points
home 6th.
racing.
He's taking what his car is giving him, and that is an old school mentality. And I think more people need to look at it that way.
He's sitting 5th in points.
He's 5th in points, exactly. So he's doing exactly what I just said, where it's like he's not wrecking people to go grab a win. He knows the importance of finishing 4th and of finishing 8th, of finishing 6th, 7th. He knows that's going to compile and it's going to set him up where of course, like when you're in that 9 car, when you're running for HMS, wins are expected, right? But at the end of the day, put yourself in contention, run well, and when you are in contention and you get that win, now you got a win or 2 or 3, and you also have the points to back it up. I think Chase Elliott is just fine where he's at.
I think he's fine too. It's just surprising he hasn't won in who knows how long. I don't know. Did he win in the playoffs last year? I don't remember. No. He didn't win a race at all last year, did he?
No, he didn't. No, he hasn't won in like 2 years. 3.
And you want to what? I don't know.
He won.
He won last year?
Yeah.
He won last year?
I can't remember.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he won. Yeah.
All right. Either way, yeah. Josh Bilicki came in last. He had electrical issues.
Why did he just pivot from Chase Elliott to Josh Bilicki?
Hey, I'll tell you what. That race needed more Josh Bilickis. We needed Reed Sorensen out there with his front bumper barely hanging on,
just
and
causing
falling off of
cautions.
his car.
That's it. We needed people out there just causing havoc.
That race was Bilicki, dude.
No, here on the Bum Run podcast, everyone loves talking about the winner, one Kyle Larson. Josh Bilicki was the loser, though. He came in last. He had electrical issues. That's all. That's it. That's all I got left. Guys want to jump into the picks and get it all wrapped up?
Yeah, Dega, baby.
All right, well, Cup is off this week, but we are going back to the Rock for the first time in some years. Truck Series is going to be at Rockingham Friday, 5 p.m. on FS1 for the Blacks Tire 200. And then Xfinity going to be on track Saturday, 4 p.m. on the CW for the North Carolina Education Lottery 250 presented by Blacks Tires.
Saturday, guys.
Barry's running the
Josh Berry
race
Saturday. I think he's gonna put on a clinic down there.
He probably will. He's probably raced Rockingham more often than any of these guys have because running short tracks and the Cars Tour and all that stuff. Rockingham hasn't gone away. They've been active for years with other stuff. So it should be exciting. And then Sunday we get a break. Of course, it's Easter Sunday. I wish they would bring back the dirt at Bristol. Can we admit that they made a mistake?
Gibbs on picking Jesus on Sunday. I'm calling a big comeback from Jesus on Sunday.
I think he could.
No birthday boy. Or no, never mind.
No,
that's his day of birth.
Wrong one.
Yeah.
To go over our picks from last week, I picked Ryan Preece. He got me 20 points, so I came in last.
Shrey picked go CCD.
The old birthday boy.
Resurrection, I think, is what you're looking
Christmas,
for.
Ricky.
My mother's gonna be upset at this part. Christ will come again.
Jesus Christ has risen today. I don't know what kind of I don't want to be sued by the Catholic Church. Please edit that out, Whitey.
I don't think those are copyrighted or trademarked. I don't think they can.
Hymns, they're all right.
Yeah. Shrey picked Ryan Blaney. He got you 39 points. Matt, you picked Christopher Bell. What's that?
Did I? Last week?
You picked Ryan Blaney last week.
I thought I picked Josh Berry.
No, you picked Josh Berry for Darlington. This was Bristol. Yeah. You picked Christopher Bell. He got you 42 points. And Eric was the big winner. He picked Kyle Larson. He told you he was going to dominate. Got you 60 points. And right now, everyone's got a win on the board except for Robbie Shrey. So you better pick the winner for Talladega. Unfortunately, I picked before you. And I am going with Is he the most winning driver at Talladega in current active driver status? I think he might be. I think he might be. I'm picking the 6 car of Brad Keselowski to get it done next Sunday at Dega. Ricky, who you picking?
Well, I'm just going to switch mine up because I didn't realize that I picked Ryan Blaney, so I was going to pick Ryan Blaney this week, but I can't go back-to-back
You
weeks.
go back-to-back. Listen, you can go back-to-back if you think he's going to win.
I've been quoting the great Stone Cold Steve Austin, all episode, talking about Kyle Larson walking mud holes dry and shit. So open up can of whoop ass on the whole field on Saturday. So with that, I'll pick Austin Cindric. 2-car.
I like it. He's been running really well this week, or not this week, this year, kind of quietly. And he is a good super speedway racer. How about you, Matt? Who are you going with?
Somebody else who's running great this year. He's knocking on that door for a win. He seems to be my go-to for super speedways the last couple of years. I'm going with the 23 of Bubba Wallace, man. Like it's gonna happen eventually.
I like it. It kind of fell off the last 2 weeks or so. Last week because of pit strategy, I believe. But
I'd be happy for him, man.
We'll see if he can get it done. And then Eric, who you going with for Dega?
This is one of the races that I could be a fucking homer and actually have a shot because he is one of the most underrated super speedway racers, and he's one of the best at Talladega. I think they're coming off the hauler a lot faster this year than in previous years. Toyota's going to have a lot more than they usually do, and I think they're going to work together. Like Matt said, the 23, the 45, the 35, the 43, 42, the whole stable, 19, they're all going to be up there working. And I think a Toyota gets it done, and I'm going with 43 of EJ.
I like it. He's usually in the top 5 or top 10 coming to the line.
He's awesome, man. He really is. I just hope they work with him when he tries to form a line.
He's the only one that wants to go.
Yep.
He's the only one that ever wants to go.
Yep. Wants to go.
We will see not this Sunday, but next Sunday, and we will break it down for you next Tuesday. We're taking next week.
We taking a bye week next week?
Yeah, we'll take the week off. We'll celebrate Holy Tuesday, and yeah,
we'll 2025 on bye.
Yeah, we'll take the bye week.
I was confused where that came from for a second. I was like, what the fuck is he talking about? Okay, gotcha.
We're 9 races into the 2025 season. There's nothing wrong with that, Shrey. We're 9 races into the 2025 season. We only have 5 different winners: William Byron, Christopher Bell, Josh Berry, Kyle Larson, and James Dennis Hamlin. Is that 6? I don't know. Who will it be? Will it be 1, Eric Jones? Will it be 1, Austin Cindric? Will it be Bubba Wallace? Or will it be Brad Keselowski getting it done in Talladega? We will find out next Sunday. For Matt the Stat Man Reilly, for Eric Daytona Ron, Robbie Shrey, I'm Michael D. White, saying have a good night.